Hello, everyone. My name is Father Carl Chudy from Our Lady of Fatima Shrine. Delighted to be with you, if by video only, unfortunately, as we all gather around this very special feast of Thanksgiving, together with our friends of different faiths and traditions, gathered together as one human family. And as we do so, I wanted to share with you a little bit of the images of our scriptures that speak of something very important for us today. The images of our scriptures in this time of the year, what we call the time that approaches the end of our own liturgical cycle or ritual year, and it is filled with images, of course, of what we call apocryphal texts, or texts that speak of the end of times and of the judgment of God. And in these powerful biblical images that stir in us either great fear of the future or great hope, from a Christian point of view, apocryphal texts, or texts like that come from Revelation or 13th chapter of Mark or book of Daniel, are indeed hopeful texts, and they're meant to be texts that help us to climb through the difficulties of tumultuous turning points and crises of one sort or another. You know, and I know that we have been in a COVID cave since early 2020. And slowly but surely, we've been crawling out of our COVID hibernation like grumpy old bears, scratchy and hungry, and looking around for some food. And as we do so, this is also a time for us to be cognizant of the times we're living in. Here in our own town of Holliston, we've had incidences of bias, anti-Semitism, racism, and homophobia in our schools. We have divisions throughout our country and in our communities that are extraordinary and are a source of anxiety and uncertainty for many of us. And just like the apocryphal texts, in times of uncertainty, that's when our faith and the persistence of our faith in these uncertain times are so important to us. As we do so, I wanted to share with you from the Catholic tradition a little teaching from Pope Francis. Pope Francis wrote a special, what we call papal encyclical, which is a teaching actually written not just for Catholics, but for anyone who care to listen. And in this text, which is called We Are Brothers and Sisters, Pope Francis outlines a post-pandemic world and what it could look like. This is what he says. It is my desire that in our time, by acknowledging the dignity of each human person, we can contribute to the rebirth of a universal aspiration of fraternity. Fraternity between all men and all women. Here we have a splendid secret that shows how to dream and to turn our life into a wonderful adventure. No one can face life in isolation. We need a community that supports and helps us, in which we can help one another and keep looking ahead. How important it is to dream together. Now, in the light of the bias incidences and prejudicial and hate incidences in our town, and are not exclusive to our town alone, of which a number of us among the clergy are working with the local community, there is something added here by Pope Francis I wanted to share. He says, I ask God to prepare our hearts to encounter our brothers and sisters so that we may overcome our differences rooted in political thinking, language, culture, and religion. Let us ask him to anoint our whole being with the balm of mercy which heals the injuries caused by our mistakes, misunderstandings, and disputes. Let us ask him for the grace to send us forth in humility and meekness along the demanding but enriching path of seeking peace. And in doing so, let us do so together here in this community and beyond our community as an offering of thanksgiving to the Lord for his goodness to us, to be able to recognize in each and every one of us our original blessing.